I'm sorry. 70 is about the slowest high school football player I've ever seen. And what is this tackle attempt from number 28? You may already think you know enough about Arch Manning, but here's what you don't know. They've been straight up lying to you. As we all know, or should know if you don't live under a rock, Arch Manning, the nephew of Peyton and Eli Manning, just committed to Texas. It's finally official, it's in the books, he's going to Texas and the recruiting sweepstakes is over. We also know he is a very, and I mean a very highly regarded recruit. He is one of the 3 players in the history of high school football rankings to have a perfect scout grade. Many people, including a lot of scouts, have also stated he might just be the greatest high school prospect of all time. Here's the big question with that. Is that because he's talented and he's going to be really good? Or is that because his last name's Manning? You may already think you know enough about Arch Manning, but here's what you don't know. They've been straight up lying to you. Yeah, that's right. I'm about to expose the truth. All these ESPN analysts, Joe Schmoes, whatever you want to call them that do these rankings and whatnot, they're not going to tell you the truth. They just want to tell you what you want to hear to make everybody happy. They don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Fortunately enough for you guys, I don't work for ESPN, so I can tell you the cold hard truth. I can tell you the real facts about Arch Manning that nobody wants to expose. And guess what? That's exactly what we're going to do in this video. Get you a snack, get you some popcorn. It's going to be an interesting one. As always, we're on the road to 200K, so if you like football content, consider hitting that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. And now, without further ado, let's get into it. Let me start it off right here and show you this video clip. I'm sorry. So we got Arch Manning rolling out of the pocket, and I don't even know if I can say rolling. He's more of walking out of the pocket because 70 is about the slowest high school football player I've ever seen. I mean this in the most respectful way possible. What is this competition? And that's not even the worst of it. Now, I hope 70, he isn't going 100% full speed, because if he is, that's another conversation for a different day. But look at this. So he's running out. And what is this tackle attempt from number 28? I don't understand. When I tell y'all time after time that all these 5-star and 4-star recruits are playing future DoorDash drivers, this is what I'm referring to. You've got to be kidding me. But here's the thing, I understand it. As a high school athlete, you don't control the schedule. You can only control how you play. And that's totally fine. I don't think it's fair to say Arch Manning is a worse quarterback just because he's playing bad competition. Or not a worse quarterback, a lesser than quarterback. That's a better way to say it. But here's where things get really interesting. If you're going to play piss poor competition like that, I expect you to put up ungodly numbers. Because we've seen it time after time. Kyler Murray, he threw for like 12,000 yards in high school. Bryce Young did the same thing. All of these great quarterbacks at the college level, they throw for 12 or 13,000 yards. That's in their entire career, so pretty much every season they're throwing for right at 3,000 or 4,000 yards, maybe 5,000 sometimes. Well, for Mr. Arch Manning, he threw for a whopping 1,371 yards last year. No, that is not for a couple of games, that is for the entire season, 1,371. He did have a completion percentage of right at 61.8, and he had 17 passing touchdowns to 4 interceptions. I wouldn't label Arch as a dual threat quarterback, but he does scramble more than a pocket passer. And on the ground last year, when he did carry the ball, he had 310 yards. Now here's my next question. If I just showed you those stats randomly, didn't tell you who they were, would you tell me that's a 5-star recruit? And would you tell me that's a number 1 in a generational type of quarterback talent? I wouldn't. Remember, Arch Manning isn't just a 5-star recruit or the number 1 quarterback in his class. He has a perfect scout grade, which means he's one of the only 3 players to ever have that. I don't think just because you throw for 5,000 yards, it should make you a better quarterback. But I think we can all agree we would expect a little more out of Arch. You see, I'm going to assume at least 70-80% of y'all didn't even know his stats were that bad. Well, they're not bad, but they're not eye-popping like they really should be. Granted, it is key to note, and I do want to give you some context, he doesn't play at this air raid type of offense, and they don't sling the ball 100 times a game. Once again, I have to go back to this argument. They're not bad stats by any means. They're good stats, but are they 5-star recruit stats? Are they top quarterback of all time stats? No. They don't tell you this though. They try to hide it to you, and all they do in the media is say, oh yeah, his last name's Manning. He's got to be a GOAT. He's going to be one of the greatest ever. Well, dang, last time I checked, all these NBA superstars and NFL stars, when they have kids, more times than not, they're not even near as good. Last time I checked, Michael Jordan's son, he wasn't an NBA star. There is a rare occasion where a dad and son, they're really good, but like I said, it's rare. Moving on, let's take a look at this graphic right here. So Archie Manning, he was the second overall pick. Peyton Manning, he was the first pick, and Eli Manning was also the first pick. I don't want to be too all scientifical and I don't dive into those crazy analytics, but going off of basic common knowledge, the chances of Arch Manning repeating that success, it's not too high. They say the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, and I would agree with that. For a lot of us, whenever we start to get older and think about it, we go, hey, I like those things just like my dad did, and maybe I'm more like them than I think. Those habits that our dad did growing up, we realize, hey, we do those same things. So just like this graphic says, yes, it does run in the family. But here's my next question. Are we even sure if he's going to start and play at Texas? Because guess what? Who's popping back into the picture? Another one of 3 top-rated quarterback recruits with a perfect score, Quinn Ewers. More than likely, Quinn Ewers is going to win the starting job, and he has to come back next year when Arch is a freshman. And if Ewers has a good year next year like he's supposed to, and everybody's hyping him up to have, I don't see why Arch Manning would overthrow him. It's not the end of the world if Arch Manning sits that first year behind Quinn. Not a big deal. But it leads me to this next question. What if Ewers doesn't go to the NFL draft right away? What if that second year doesn't have a good one and he has to come back or something happens? You never know. Everyone in the media is trying to hype this kid up as the next best thing since sliced bread. He's going to be a future #1 pick and maybe a Hall of Famer. But dang, we don't even know if he's going to play at Texas. And a lot of y'all, I have to call you out on it, you're getting brainwashed because you're just believing what they say. Go watch the film. You can watch it on YouTube or wherever. Watch his high school games. Look at that competition. Not too good. I'm going to show you video clips of it right here. You can tell these aren't 4- and 5-star recruits he's playing against. I always give credit when it's due. Yeah, he has a great arm and he does make good throws here and there, but so does every other college quarterback. There is not a single thing about Arch Manning that stands out to me except for the fact he's about 6'4", 200 pounds. He does have great size, but we don't even know what's going to happen when there's pressure on him. If he's down by 10 or 14 points in the second quarter, how can he adapt? He's always been spoon-fed his entire life, and I don't mean that in a bad way because, yeah, if your parents can have a lot of money, that's awesome, and that'd be great for every kid. But what's going to happen when he goes to Texas and he doesn't win the starting job? How's he going to deal with adversity? There's so many unanswered questions, and I hate how everyone's labeling him as this next big thing, when in reality, if his last name wasn't Manning, I don't even know if he'd be a 5-star recruit. More than likely, I would say if his last name wasn't Manning and he was just an average dude, he'd be a 3 or 4 star. There is nothing special about his game. For a 5-star recruit, there's got to be something special about you, and I don't see it in him. Am I saying he won't win the job at Texas? Am I saying he won't be the #1 overall pick in the future? No, absolutely not. He could be. Here's what I am saying though, and I can't harp on it enough. It's not going to be as easy as what everyone's trying to make it out to seem. There was going to be many, and I mean many bumps in the road, and I just think people out there, you need to realize it. Everyone's been lying to you, and I'm here to tell you the truth. I am very curious. Let me know your thoughts on this down below. But, with all that being said, all about peace.